Hello everyone. In this video, let's talk about how to read multiple input values from the keyboard in a single line. Three important things. Okay. So what are those means? First one is what is meant by split function. And second one is what is meant by list comprehension. And third one is what is meant by list unpacking. Okay. So what is our aim? Our aim is to read multiple input values within a single line. Okay. So what is the syntax for that is, see here, a comma b equals to int of x for each x in input of enter two elements dot split. Okay, so this is the syntax. Okay, so this is the syntax to read multiple input values in a single line. So this is the syntax. So to understand this syntax, okay, so we have to learn about all these three concepts. So here I am using split function. Okay, so what is the purpose of this split function means it will split the string into list of elements where each element, each word of that string is a list item. Okay, so yesterday we have already seen about this. So here this split function will take some argument, a separator, right? So if you are not passing any separator within this split function means what it says, defaultly the separator is a white space, right? So anyone is having any doubt with respect to split function, you can ask now. Otherwise, I will proceed with list comprehension.
Ma'am, at the starting, int of x means what, ma'am?
No. First, I'm asking. No. I'm not asking about that int of x. I'm just asking about split function. That int of x, it is a output sequence, or there we can place an expression. That is the syntax for list comprehension. I will explain about that with respect to list comprehension. I am just asking about split function. So, okay, are you okay with that? So it takes a string. It will work on any string object, and it will convert that string into a list object where each and every word in that string is a list element. Okay. So here this split function defaultly takes a white space as a separator. Suppose if you want to use any separator, for example, here I am taking C. Here I am taking S is equal to hello world. Okay. So if I say some A is equal to S dot split off. Okay. So if you print the value of A now, okay. So what this function will do? So S is my variable, reference variable, which is a reference to this string. So on this string, I am going to apply this function. So here in between hello and world, we have a separator. Okay, so this white space. So as this white space is my separator, I am not passing any argument here. Suppose, for example, in between hello and world, if I use the comma as a separator, okay, then I have to pass that separator as an argument to this split function. Okay, suppose if I use in between hello and world some symbol like a star, here as a separator I have to pass that star. Okay, so how I will get an output means, see, my output will be always in the form of list, right? So it will split the single string into multiple strings, and it will store those values in the list format. So this is my output. Is it clear, Akhil?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is the functionality of this split function? It will split the string into list of values. Okay. And it will take argument as a separator. If you are not passing any argument in the separator, the default argument is white space. Okay. So that's about the split function. It's clear, right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So next, let's proceed with the list comprehension. So what is meant by list comprehension? List comprehension means generally I have a list. Okay. Suppose for example, see. Okay. I have a list. Okay. So my list contains some elements like see. So my list name is, for example, fruits. It is my list name. Okay. It contains some fruits like apple. Okay. Orange. And some grapes. Okay. These are my list elements. So I want a new list. Okay. Which contains in that means in that list, I need a P character. Okay. A P character in this list. Okay. I want, that means here each and every element is a list element, right? Each and every element of this list is a list element, and this is a complete sequence. Suppose if I want to access these list elements, I have to need a iterator. Okay. So here I want to create a new list based on the values of existing list. Okay. So in that new list, I am saying some character. Okay. That character should be there in my new list. I don't need all these. I want P. Okay. The P character, that means the P in which list, the list element which is having P character, that I want in my new list. Okay. Suppose without using any list comprehension concept, I have to use loops. Okay. So how we can write the code by using loops? First of all, we have to take our new list as an empty list. Okay. So what I have to say, for some iterator, okay, in fruits. Okay. Some iterator in fruits. My list in a variable is fruits, right? So what is the condition? If what I am asking, P character should be there in X. Okay. I need P character in that iterator. Okay. If this condition will be true, what I am saying is I'm asking to append that characters, that values, okay, into my new list, and I am going to print my new list. Okay, this is the logic I have to follow. Okay, this is not list comprehension. This is just if you want to create a new list based on the values of existing list. Okay, this is my existing list. My existing list contains fruits, 3 types of fruits: apple, orange, and grapes. So what is my requirement? I want out of this list, the list items which contains a P, character P, that I want in my new list. Okay. So first of all, we have to take the new list as an empty list. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to iterate throughout the sequences. Okay. So we have to go for a loop. As it is a sequence, we have to use for loop. So for iterative variable in sequence, sequence is nothing but my sequence name, my sequence variable name, that is fruits. What is my condition? In that sequence, in that iterator, okay, I am checking for P character. Okay, as there is no character data type in Python, we have to use a string, right? In other languages, if it is a single character, we just enclose with single quotations. But here, even though you use a single quotation also, here I can use a double quotations or single quotations, both are allowed. But it is not a character, it will be treated as a, even if you have a single character also, it will be treated as a string only, right? So here I am checking for this character, okay? For this character in that is iterator, whether that character is present in that list item or not, okay? If that character is present, I'm asking to append. Append means this is the function used to insert, okay? If you want to insert elements into the list, we have to go with the append function, okay? Always this append function will insert the elements at the end of the list. So I'm asking if that character is there, I am asking that iterator, that list element to insert into the new list. So that is my program. Okay, this is without using list comprehension. Okay, so what is meant by list comprehension? Means it will do the same job exactly, but with shorter syntax, with less lines of code, with concise code, it will do this the same job. Okay, how it will do? How it will do means, so I don't need all this. Okay, so what is the syntax of our list comprehension? The syntax is, see here. The syntax is, so see here, output sequence, or any expression we can write, output sequence or any expression. Okay. One second, let me clear this. Okay, so what is the syntax? Syntax is output sequence or any expression. Okay, next for the keyword for, and next one is variable in sequence, for variable in sequence, and next one is for variable in sequence, and we have to specify some condition, if condition. Okay, so this I have to represent in list. That is the syntax of our list comprehension. Okay, that is the syntax of our list comprehension. So output sequence or expression for variable in sequence if condition. Okay, so output sequence can be any expression or it can be any variable. Okay, so what is that I will explain at the end. Okay, so here for is my keyword. Okay, variable, here variable stands for iterative variable in any sequence you can take. It can be either a list or a string or a range. Okay, any sequence you can take, and based upon if condition. So what I am doing here means internally I have a list of values. In those list of values, according to my condition, I am filtering that existing list, and I am creating my new list according to some condition. That is the purpose of this list comprehension. Okay, so in the previous example, what I have taken fruits as, so fruits as apple. So what are those fruits I have taken? Apple. Next one.
Orange.
Apple, orange, and next one?
Grapes.
Okay. So this is my list, right? So here now by using list comprehension, how I am going to create a new list? Let's see. Okay, I am going to apply this syntax, and now I am going to create a new list. Okay, so my new list is now see. So here output sequence. Here whatever may be I am not going to do any operations on the output. I am just taking a new list, right? So just I am taking X. Okay, for each X in fruits, that is my sequence. For each X in fruits, okay, what is the condition? If P, if P
in X.
If P in X, right? Okay, so this is the syntax I am going to follow. Okay, and just I am going to print the value of new list. Okay, so this step is called as a list comprehension. X, here this is a output sequence or any expression. Output sequence means any variable. Okay, for each variable, for variable in sequence, right? So variable is X in sequence. What is my sequence? Fruits. Okay, in this fruits, okay, this iterator will iterate throughout the sequence. If P, this character in iterator X, if that value is there, just place that value in the output sequence. Okay, and that will be assigned to this new list. That how like that the list comprehension will work. Okay, now let me execute this code. So go to Python IDLE. So here I have a list which contains fruits. So apple, orange, grapes. Okay, so this is my list. So here I am going to create a new list by using list comprehension. So see here, output sequence is X. Okay, for each X in fruits, if P in X. Okay, so now I am going to print the value of new list. So let's save this. Okay, now let me run this code. So see here. So apple and grapes, these two are having the P characters in those lists. So I got my new list. Okay, so suppose, for example, here I can take any range also, not only strings, I can take any range also. So see here, new list equals to, okay, suppose for example, I want to use some expression. Okay, let me do this. For each value in range of 10, okay, range of 20, for example, for each value in range of 20, I can write some condition. If I is greater than 10, okay, so this is my condition. For each value in range of this, if I, okay, my iterative variable, okay, if it is greater than 10, so on that I have to do, okay, and that I have to do I I plus 2. Okay. So here what I am doing, for each number in that range, if this condition is true, okay, on that variable. So if this condition is true means what happens is some elements got filtered. Yes or no? Right? So some elements got filtered. On those filtered elements, I have to apply this expression. Is it clear now? What is the purpose of this expression?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that operation will be performed on those filtered elements. Okay. Now I am going to print my new list. Okay. So let me save this and let me run the code. So see here. So it has a filtered I greater than 10. First range of 20 means is from 0 to 19 you will get the values, right? So on that 0 to 19, I greater than 10 means 11 to 19. So from 11 to 19 on those filtered elements, this expression, okay, this value is being applied. Okay, so 11 plus 2, 13, like that, 12 plus 2. Okay, that is the purpose of this output expression or, sorry, expression or output sequence. Okay, so you have to be familiar with this complete syntax. This is the list comprehension syntax. So the purpose of this is it offers a shorter syntax to create, if you want to create a new list from the values of existing list. That concept is called as a list comprehension. So it offers concise code. Okay, so now let's come to our main topic. Okay, so see here. So what is my aim? I want to read multiple values. Okay, so first of all, see input. Okay, input function I am taking. I'm asking the user to enter two values, two numbers. Okay, so on these two numbers, what I'm doing is I'm applying my split function. Okay, enter two numbers and I am applying split function. Suppose, for example, I am taking L is equal to enter two numbers dot split function. So what happens, and if I am printing the value of L, so let's see what happens. So save, enter two numbers, 2, 3. Okay, so if you print the value of L, what happens? This 2, 3 is splitted into two different strings. Actually, this 2, 3 is a single string, right? It has been splitted into two different strings and those values are being stored in list format. Okay, so now, till now, it's clear for everyone, I hope, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. So now I am writing like this. What I am saying is int of x. Int of x. For each x in my sequence. Is this my sequence or not? My list. This is completely my list. Input of enter two numbers dot split. It is a list with the string values, right or wrong?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Completely a list. Just now I showed the output. Yes, 2, 3 is being stored in a list where 2 is a single character and 3 is another character, right? So on that list, I am, what I'm saying, I'm asking to convert each and every element of that string to integer value. That's what I'm saying. Here, this is the syntax for list comprehension. Output sequence Here output sequence is nothing but typecasting function. Okay, here you can take anything, a variable, an expression, a typecasting function, or any function. Okay, anything you can take for each element in sequence. I just want to split. Okay, I'm not applying any condition. I'm just asking to split. Okay, this split itself is a condition. On this value, it is going to split. Split the string into two different strings, and those are being stored in a list format. Okay, so this complete whole line is a list comprehension. Okay, now what happens? Whatever may be the string values which are stored in the list, those values are now converted to integer format. Let's run and see. Enter two numbers, 2, 3. So see, previously I got two string values. Now those values are being typecasted, and now those are stored in integer format, not in string format. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
It's clear, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I am saying another concept, that is list unpacking. Okay. Now I am saying about another concept, that is list unpacking. What is meant by list unpacking means, generally what we will do when we create a list. Here I am creating a list L. When we create a list, we will assign some values to this list. Right? When we create a list, we will assign some values to the list. That concept is called as a list packing or packing a list. Just to create a list variable and assign some values to the list variable. That concept is called as a packing a list. A list is packed with some values. Okay. Okay. So this is allowed in all the languages. But in Python, it is also allowed to extract the values back to the variables. Okay. So what does mean? So here, for example, for better understanding, I am taking my list contains see red, some colors, red. Okay, green. Okay, next some another color, white. Okay, so this is just a packing of a list. The syntax is nothing but packing of a list. Okay, but what I am saying, it is also allowed in Python to extract these values back to the variables. Means I am taking variables like, for example, A, B, C. 3 variables I am taking. Okay, A, B, C values I am taking. And I am going to extract these values back to these variables. How I can extract these values? As all these values are being stored in my list variable L, by using that variable, I am extracting all these values back to these variables. Suppose if I print the value of A, okay, it will print the first element of the list, red. If I print the value of B, it will print the second element of the list, that is green. If I print the value of C, okay, it will print the third element of the list. Okay, so this concept is called as list unpacking. Okay, now let me run the code. So see here. So red, green, white. Okay, so first what I have done, by using a single variable, I have created a list. By using a list variable, I have created some sequence of objects. Now what I have done, I have extracted these values back to the variable, back to the variables. Okay, back to the variables. Suppose for example here, what I can do is, if I have so many variables, okay, so after printing one variable, suppose here if I use a star of B, here I can use a star of B. Okay. So if you print the value of B now, the remaining elements, you will get as a another list. Okay, if I have multiple, suppose for example, in my list contains some 20 to 30 elements. Okay, if I don't want all those elements to extract back to the variables. Okay, I need some 1 or 2 elements of that list. So all the remaining elements, if you don't want, no need to create the variables, just you can say star of B, star of some values. I don't want these 2 values. I just want to extract only the first element of the list. Okay, suppose if I write like this, so see what happens. See, so the remaining 2 elements, okay, the remaining 2 elements, only I want to extract this value, and from which value you don't want, for that variable, you can give before star. Okay, then what happens means the remaining values, those will be stored in another list format. Okay, so if it is your requirement, then we will go with this. I have some 100 list values. Okay, so if you want to extract only for some 5 or 6 variables, so 5 or 6 values back to the variables, I don't want the remaining values, then you can just, after extracting 5 or 6 variables, okay, after the next variable, just give star before the variable name, just give star. Okay, but while printing, don't give star. Okay, so from that you will get whatever may be the values which you want to extract, those values will be being extracted, and those values are being stored in the variables. So for the remaining values, yeah, Sadhika, you can leave.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, no problem, Sadhika, you can leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so the remaining values, you can before the variable just give the star. So that will be created as another list. Okay, so but now here we are talking about and that is list unpacking, right? So list unpacking means extracting the values back to the variables, extracting the values back into the variables. That is called as unpacking of the list. Okay, so in our example here I am taking, suppose for example, x is equal to int of, okay, take some other variable. Okay, so a is equal to int of x for each x in input of enter 2 numbers or enter 2 values dot split. Okay, so here I have taken like this. So what happens after entering 2 values? Okay, so those values have been typecasted and those values have been changed to integer format, right? So my L, I have assigned those values to my L. That means L now contains these 2 input values in integer format. Okay, I want to extract these values back to the variables. So here I can write like this: a comma b is equal to L. So print of a comma b. Can I write like this? Let me run this. See. So enter two values, 2, 3. So 2, 3 is being printed. Okay. Print of A comma B means 2, 3 is being printed. So I can just remove all these. And here also I can remove this L. And here directly I can write A comma B. Okay. And if you run the code, so here, see, print of A comma B. I can write like this. Okay. So here, after performing all these operations, okay, that means splitting the string values, and next typecasting the string values which are in the list. After performing all those, I'm just assigning the result to this A comma B, two variables. Okay, in Python it is allowed. You can multiple variables can be assigned within a single line. That is allowed in Python, right? So I can directly write like this, and I'm going to run this. See now. So enter two values, 10, 20. So see here, if you print two values, I got a 10, 20. So this is called as list unpacking. So here first I have applied split function. On that split function, I have performed list comprehension. After performing list comprehension on that output, I have done list unpacking. So three concepts I have applied to read multiple input values within a single line. Okay, is it clear for all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's rejoin once again. Okay. So see here. Now, after reading the values within a multiple values within the single line, you can perform any operations as you wish. Okay. Suppose, for example, I am going to read multiple values A comma B comma C equals to. So see here, int of X. Okay, here you can give any typecasting function as you wish according to your requirement. Okay, so for each X in, please mute your mics. Input of enter three numbers or enter three values dot split. Okay, and next I am asking print of A plus B plus C. Okay, so now let me run this code. Okay, so see here, enter three numbers, 12, 13, 15, three numbers. So directly the output is, it summed all these three numbers and the output is 40. Okay, so by using a single statement, I can read as many number of multiple input values as I wish. Okay, so this is a beautiful concept which is allowed only in Python, not in any other languages. So we can do any operations. We can, by using this single statement, we can read multiple input values according to our requirement. And next, according to our requirement, we have to write the logic. Okay, suppose if I want to find out of those three numbers, which is the smallest number or which is the greatest number, I can write. So by using if, see here, if A is greater than B, okay, and A is greater than C, print A is greater. Okay. Elif. If I want to check for more than one condition, multiple conditions, I have to use if elif else, right? Elif B is greater than C. Okay. Print. B is greater. Next. Else. Print C is greater. Okay. So like this, after reading all these values, I can write whatever may be the logic I need. Okay. So let me run this code. So here I am going to read to 3 values, 12, 13, 12, 13 and 14. So C is greater. Okay. So this is the statement, single statement, which provides to read multiple input values from the keyboard. Okay. So here we have used 3 beautiful concepts: split, list comprehension, and list unpacking. Is it clear for all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So with this, we have finished input statement. Okay, that means input function. Okay, and eval function, and how to read multiple values, multiple input values within a single line. Okay, so next one is command line arguments. Okay, next concept is command line arguments. So see here. So what is meant by command line arguments? Means it is another way of providing input. Okay, it is another way. Without using input function, we can use these command line arguments to provide input to the program. Okay, so it is another way to provide user input. So here what we will do means we will pass the arguments with that means by using command prompt. So initially, while I was dealing with how many ways to run Python code. Okay, 3 ways I have explained. First one is through command line, second one is through command prompt, and third one is through IDLE. Okay, so while I was explaining about how many ways to run the Python code, I have already showed how to run the Python code with respect to the command prompt. Okay, so we can pass arguments through the command prompt at the time of execution. Okay, that is called as a command line arguments. That means the input arguments, input values will be passed through the command prompt. Okay, at runtime, at the time of execution. Okay, so actually this is not beginners friendly. This command line arguments is not a beginners friendly, it is experts friendly. Okay, because here we have to use some modules, we have to import those modules, and according to those modules, we have to access the variables. So like that, some advanced concepts we are using here. So it is not that much beginners friendly, it is experts friendly. But generally, we have input function to pass the input values, as well as by using command line arguments also, we can pass the input values. We can read the input values. Okay, so which one is having most performance? That means with respect to performance, which one is good means command line arguments are good. Because here by using command prompt, that is a terminal, right? So from the terminal, we are passing the input values, which improves the speed. Okay, it makes your code execution speed fastly you can execute the code. Okay, with respect to performance, these command line arguments are more good than input function. But these command line arguments are not that much user friendly, or not that much beginners friendly, not user friendly, beginners friendly. That means who are the beginners who are learning the language just now. for them it is not that much easy to understand. But if you get expertise, okay, then it is easy for you to use these command line arguments that means for passing the input values. Okay, but with respect to performance, this is faster because we are directly using command prompt to pass the input values. That's why the execution speed will be more in these command line arguments. Okay, so to make use of these command line arguments in your program, okay, we are going to use a variable. Okay, by using that variable, we will read the values. Okay, so what is that variable means? argv. ARGV. Okay, so this ARGV is a variable. So by using this variable, we can read command line arguments. ARGV is a variable. Okay, so where this variable is available means in Python, this variable is available in a sys module. Okay, this variable is available in a sys module. So to make use of this variable, we have to import this module. Okay, so first of all, before learning this, so first of all, what is meant by a module? Okay, we have separate topic on these modules. So just I'm going to give a brief introduction. What is meant by a module? So module means it is a collection of variables, functions, and classes. Okay, so in other languages, we have to include header files. Suppose, for example, if you consider C or C++. Okay, so if you want to use printf, scanf, these are the input-output functions in those languages. Suppose if you want to include those functions in your program, we have to include a header file stdio.h, conavo.h, like that. Okay, in those header files, these functions are already defined. Okay, so we have to include those functions. If we have to include those header files to make use of those functions in your program. Similarly, if I want to make use of this variable argv in my program, I have to import. Include is not there in our Python. Okay, so we have to import this module. In this module, this is defined. This is being defined, right? This variable is defined in this module. So I have to import this sys module. Okay, so in this module, this variable is there. Then how can I access this variable? Means, so see here, import sys we have to write first of all, because I want to make use of argv in my program. By using this argv variable only, it is possible to read command line arguments. So I have to make use of this variable in my program. As this variable is defined in sys module, I have to import the sys module before going to start my program. Okay, this is the first step you have to write. Import sys. Then how can I access this argv? Means sys.arg. Sys.argv. Okay, this is the syntax you have to follow to access these argv variables. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
Okay, so what is meant by command line arguments? The arguments which are passed through the command prompt at the time of execution are called as command line arguments. So this command line arguments is another way to provide user input. Okay, so here to read the values, okay, we need a argv variable. So this argv is a variable which is used to read the values, the input values. Okay, as this argv is defined in sys module, first of all, we have to import that sys module. Okay, so what is meant by module? It is a collection of variables, functions, and classes. So that means a module can contain multiple variables. That means multiple predefined variables, multiple functions, and multiple classes. Okay, like this, we have some lakhs of modules in Python. Okay, so to make use of those functions or variables or classes which are defined in those modules, first of all, we have to import that module in our program. Okay, after importing that module, if you want to access the functions, okay, or the classes or the variables, then we have to follow the syntax that module name dot that variable name. Suppose here, if any function is there, okay, if you want to access some functions which are defined in this sys module, so sys, that means module dot that function name. Like that, we can access the variables or functions or classes, whatever it may be, by using that dot operator. Okay, so now see. So here, so as I am saying, argv is a variable. So that variable can read the command line arguments, right? So by using that variable, we can read command line arguments. Now I want to know what is the data type of this, that argv. Okay, so what is that data type I want to know? So see here, first of all, we have to import sys module, right? Now I want to know the type. So print of type of sys dot argv. Okay, so let me save this. Okay. Yeah. So if you run now, so see here that argv is a list data type. So whatever may be the variable which is used to read command line arguments, that variable is a list data type. Okay, so now how to print the command line arguments? Okay, how to read the values of command line arguments and how to print the values of this command line arguments. Okay, let me show. So see here, import this, or you can directly write in another way also. Okay, so see here, from sys, from module name, import, what is the variable? Argv. This is another way of, another syntax to access argv variable. Okay, first syntax is first import the module. Second, module dot that variable. Okay, so that is the first form. Second form is from module name, import that variable name. Now print of type of argv. So if you use this syntax, no need to use the sys.argv. Directly you can use argv. Directly, just like a normal variable, you can call. Okay, suppose if you write like import module, and if you want to use the values which are defined in that module, then you have to access by using sys dot. Okay, if you write like this, from sys, that means from this module, can you please import this argument, this variable in my program? That is the meaning of this statement. Okay, from this module, can you please import this variable? And I want to print what is the type of variable. Okay, if you write like this, this is the syntax you have to follow. So which one is convenient for you? You can follow that syntax. Okay. Now let me explain an example program on command line arguments. So for that, go to Python IDLE. So open a new file. So here I am going to show how to print command line arguments. Okay. So see here, first of all, from sys module, we have to import what is that variable argv, right? So after that, I'm just going to print the elements. That is the number of elements are. So we have len, length function, to print the number of elements. Okay. And next, now I am going to print the list of elements. Okay. So the list of elements are, okay, just argv. Okay. In that variable, we have the list of command line arguments. And next one is, I want to print all the command line arguments one by one. So for, we have to use loop, right? I is my iterative variable in argv. Okay. So I am going to print the value of I. Right? So this is my program. So first of all, let me save this program on the desktop. Okay. With some file name. My file name is command.py. Okay. Now let me run this code. Okay. So how to run these command line arguments? We cannot run directly from here. Okay. So for that, you have to go to command prompt. Open the command prompt. Okay. So here, give enter Python. So I got the path. Now I want to exit from this path, right? I want to change the directory to desktop because I saved my file on the desktop. So that's why cd, change directory to desktop. So now here give the file name py. What is my file name? Command.py. Okay, send some arguments. So these are my arguments. So as argv, it is a which type? It is a list data type. This argv variable is my list data type. So in this list data type, so here, how many arguments I have passed? 10, 20, 30. These are my command line arguments. But this list contains 4 elements, not 3 elements, because the name of the file is always my first element of this list, argv. Okay, always we have to remember this point. So here, my first element of my list is command.py. Okay, that is the file name. My second element is 10, my third element is 20, and my fourth element is 30. So let me execute this one. So see here, the number of elements are 4 because this is my first element. Command.py is my first element. See here, the list elements are command.py is my first element. Always in command line arguments, the first element is the name of the file. Okay, so in the list, my first element is always command, that is the name of the file. And the second element is the elements which you have passed. That means these are command line arguments. So all these are the next elements, preceding elements. Always the first element is in the command line argument. The first element of the list is always the name of the file. So here the number of elements are, this is one element, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the list of elements are the file name and the remaining numbers which I have passed. So one by one, I want to print the values in this list. So first element is command.py and next one is 10, 20, 30. So like this, we have to execute command line arguments. Okay, from the command prompt, we have to execute the programs. We have to pass the arguments, pass the inputs from the command prompt. So that's why we are calling them as command line arguments. Okay. Thank you.